Hey kids, Graham here from therecordingrevolution.com, and welcome back to 5 Minutes to a Better Mix, back by popular demand. Round 2, I have 31 brand new mixing tips for you to cover in the next 31 days. We're kicking off 2012 right. So if you enjoyed the first round of these videos a while back, here are some brand new ones for you. And today we are going to start with maybe a not so exciting one, but you know me, I got to start with the fundamentals, and that is using your volume fader as an EQ. Okay, volume faders are your first line of defense to get your frequencies to play well together. Usually we think of just getting the right volume and then start to EQ to fix things. But honestly, the volume at which a track is playing relative to another track does affect what frequencies our ears pick up on. All right? So, I want to show you two examples really quickly on a mix where just tweaking the volume faders a little bit will get tracks to sound a bit different in the mix, and then they may not need any EQ at all. Okay, here's a track without, I don't have any plugins, I just got the faders happening, and I want you to take a listen to the drums. The drums sound fine, but to me in the mix, it sounds like I have a lot more of the room sound of the drums and not the fullness of the snare, okay? So take a listen again in context. To me, that sounds kind of cheap, you know? I can hear the small room it was recorded in. So what I'm going to simply do instead of jumping on an EQ is I'm going to dial down the overhead track about 3 dB and dial up the snare track about 3 dB. So I get a much drier, fuller sound. Let's listen to it in solo. Versus, right? That's more of the live sound of the snare. But if that's not fitting in the mix for you, just adjust the faders. Okay, that's really simple. I'm not blowing your mind with this, but these subtle moves change the tone of the snare drum in the whole mix, and that's part of the deal. Here's another example is I have at one point in this song, the lead guitar player did an octave of this little lead riff. So he's got it playing in the left speaker down an octave and in the right speaker up an octave, the same part. And I think the up octave guitar sounds a bit thin. Let's take a listen. All right, that's what I'm listening for. So I think that little high part sounds a little thin, but instead of EQing it to fatten it up, I could just turn it up a little bit. Now, I honestly know this is a subtle thing, but to me, having it boosted by maybe 4 dB from where it was, I hear or perceive a little more thickness in that high part compared to everything else. Versus. You hear that? Those last couple notes sounded so thin down there, but up here it's a little fuller. I perceive the sustain a little bit more, okay? So I understand that this might sound very elementary, but that's the whole point, is if something isn't right on a track as you're mixing, Jump for the volume fader first and just see if you maybe don't have it at the right volume. That might be why you're not perceiving. You could say, I thought that snare drum sounded fatter when I was editing the drums, or what happened to the track? It's probably competing frequencies. And the first way you can get it to sit right is to just adjust the volume fader relative to the other faders. This mentality will keep you focusing on getting the absolute best balance you can with the faders before you jump into complex EQ moves, okay? Start there, think of your fader as your first line of EQ, and it'll serve you and go a long, long way. Hope that helps. Again, this is Graham at therecordingrevolution.com. We will see you tomorrow with another 5 minutes to a better mix.